guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. How y'all doing today? We're gonna have a really fun time talking about passive damage mitigation inside Raid Shadow Legends, guys. You all know with the new fusion or fragment summon champion, I always call for fusions fragment summons and fragment summons fusions.
Potato, potato.
You might want to consider a different line of work.
But we know now with Pythion that he has this passive that's really tremendous, and you all should recognize the value of this ability right out the gate here when we talk about any damage mitigation to all allies inside a passive of a champion that has just a tremendous, underrated, exponential value when you extrapolate that on top of all the other damage mitigators we have at our disposal. Ally Protect, Strengthen, Increase Defense, Shields, I could go on and on here. Veil, Perfect Veil, of course there's 7.5 and 15% AoE damage mitigation in those buffs as well. So there's a lot to go around, and when you start stacking that onto these passives, it's a magical thing where it can really be the difference of surviving and clearing a new stage in a dungeon, or beating a boss for a first time, clearing a new difficult level on Doom Tower, or failing. So I thought, just for fun, why not put all these passive damage mitigator champions together on a team and see what they can do in the arena, in Doom Tower, and in Hydra clan boss. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I want to go ahead and show you my Pythion again in case you missed my last video. I think this dude is an absolute stud, a beast of a champion. Some people kind of upset that I was so high on this dude in the comments, saying that, like, yeah, great, Ash, now Plarium's going to nerf him. But you know what? Plarium's never listened to me for the years and years I've been complaining and telling them to buff every Doom Tower champion and you know, half the other champions in the game. So I hope and don't think they're going to start now by nerfing Pythion. But you know what? Plarium's never listened to years and years I've been complaining, telling them to buff every Doom Tower champion, you know, half the other champions in the game. So I hope and don't think they're going to start. We have his skills here, guys. The A1 has a heal, the ally with lowest HP. He has a cleanse with a heal on the A2, and his heals really do sneakily add up between the A1 and the A2. And then he has that AoE revive with the strength, and he also brings block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, an incredible champion, but this overlay passive, allies receive 5% less damage from skills for each active buff on them, stacking up to 25% damage mitigation. That's the same as a big version of Strengthen, and it's permanent. Really, really powerful on the passive. Similarly, we have Duchess, who we'll be spotlighting in today's video in a Stone Skin set, 6-piece. Decreases damage taken from all allies by AoE attacks by 25%, 15 from bosses. And then we have Norog, who's going to be on the team, the big pig. He brings a block debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown. Excuse me, block buffs on a 3-turn cooldown. And then his damage mitigator, Thick Skin, is immune to stun, freeze, sleep. Decrease the damage all allies that are under 1 or more buffs received by 15%. Under no buffs, 25% damage mitigation. Really, really handy there as well. And even though we won't be using it today, that aura, defense and done is by 40%, is just a monster of an aura to have in this game. We have, I just think, War Master and defensive. We actually have Selfless Defender masteries on our Norog. And we have him in a Guardian set to even add more damage mitigation. Where observes 10% of all damage dealt to allied champions, heals by 10% every turn. Damage absorbed is not reduced by defense. So we have, we're going to be spotlighting Norog, we're going to be spotlighting Duchess, and Pythion on the same teams. Now, other damage mitigators out there, I'm not sure if I'll be having them all on every team or any team, but, you know, you have the shield that kind of reflects damage and heals allies on Brogni's Redoubt. We will be getting some usage out of, where's Geomancer? I figured he would be on my recently used, but he has some damage mitigation built into his passive as well, so Geomancer will be spotlit in today's video. We're going to be using some DPS with Nishak Verminlord. What a great champion. I just wanted an excuse to sneak him in the video because he's a beast, and we'll be running him in a Relentless set, and I think that's going to be the stars of the show here, guys. All right, guys, here we are in the arena, and boy, are you going to love this team, guys. It's absolutely insane. So I fell out of Platinum overnight while I was sleeping, but I'm going to pick, you know, purposely the hardest teams that I can kind of find here. Starting with this squad, might as well. A very, very tanky team, plus the Revive on Death is protected from Cardial, so that's interesting. But we're going to run Ursuga. I forgot to mention her earlier. This might be my new main defensive arena team. I don't know, guys. It's pretty dang robust. If you don't have Canderfon, I mean, there's a million options for go second nukers. I love the Candyman with that veil protecting himself. He has a really hard-hitting AoE attack and really hard-hitting A1 as well. But you can run a champion like Magnar, a champion like Saltus Dragonbane, Solus, even Leo or a Skull Crown on a go second team. If you don't have Ursuga, who has this amazing passive, decrease the damage all allies receive from critical hits by 30%. This champion will receive that damage instead. She also has the Bulwark Mastery and Selfless Defender on her, so a lot of just extra damage mitigation from Ursuga. If you don't have her, you can run a champion like Vogoth. Python is fantastic, obviously, to run alongside those champions. Python I have in a bolster set. I think I mentioned that. We get the heal and the protected shield, which is great too, because that protective shield counts obviously as a buff, further supercharging that passive ability in terms of more damage mitigation from Python. Anyway, let's stop talking about the team and let's go into the team here. Even a champion like, I'm just trying to think of substitutions if you wanted to try a go second team, if you do have Python, for example, and I would say you could run a Mighty Uko as well as a good option in Stone Skin. Not going to have that passive damage mitigator, but we'll have that revive. It's nice to have 2 revivers on a team like this as well. It can take a while. You can see the Butcher's Glee goes down from Candyman. It's going to take a bit. This is a go second team at the end of the day, but notice, guys, notice.
Guess who's back?
Dude, they're barely damaging us here. And the cool thing about this team, when you look at it, also Mithrala could sub in here, because when you think about this team, we don't have an AoE strengthen. We have it on a single target on Ursuga's kit. We don't have an AoE strengthen, and we have no increased defense either. That's pretty insane for a go second team without the quintessential defensive buffs, right? We do have, again, single target ally protect. Again, just rattling off champions that I could easily substitute in and out of this team is Nekret the Great. You know, there's a lot of options there. But let's see if this team can get it done here with just the ally protect. And it looks like we're totally fine so far. Here comes the ally attack. And again, Ursuga is, you know, taking a little bit of damage here. Not the end of the world. We have the shed skin, the cleanse, and a little bit of heal there. And when she does die, we can just pick her right back up. Here comes the A1. Unfortunately, revive on death from Canderfon, but he is, I think, only 1 turn away from his Butcher's Glee ability. So let's see how we do here. I don't love Hegemon on defense, personally, because when you see a Hegemon team, it's not like, you know, you're always going to do something, change something to go against them on defense. And I feel like more often than not, people are going to be able to find, at this point, a winning strategy for tackling a Hegemon team, or they're just going to totally avoid the team, you know? So for that reason, I never run him on defense. But if you guys disagree with me, go ahead and let me know. Maybe you're getting a lot of defensive victories with Hegemon. Maybe people just blindly attack you and don't even notice that you have him in. But again, for me, my thought process is people probably see it coming. You know, same thing with Tormund. Right? It's not that he's bad on defense. He's great on defense in a vacuum, but I think that most savvy players will probably just go in there and say, oh, okay, I'm going against Tormund. I better make sure there's Dark Helhane in there, or better make sure there's, you know, somebody protecting my nukers or immunity set or whatever you're using to mitigate those champions. So it looks like we're going to win this one. It's just a matter of time here, guys. I'll come back at you at the end of this battle. We'll go into the next one. All right, guys, I refreshed a few times to find some good teams, and I have some queued up for you. So let's do like a 1 or 2 matches, as I said, and then we'll move things along here. So, we have a Trunda team, we have Brogni, we have Molly Tankard, 2 revivers with Arbiter as well. Obviously, I mean, Trunda's barely going to be able to touch us here. Let's go, I mean, to me, again, I feel like this one's over almost before it began.
I have a lot of questions. Number 1, how dare you?
Molly's such a good champion. She's not like the most meta arena champion right now, but having the 2-turn provoke chance, having the revive, and that really, really cool Rowdy Crowd passive just makes her one of my favorite arena champions out there. But you can see all these big nukes coming in, again, without all the quintessential buffs that we're used to seeing on all these champions, but we're nice and protected. Geez, I mean, looking pretty dang good, right, guys? Looking pretty dang good here. So if we take out the revivers, this one will be in the books. We'll do one more battle and move things along here. But I think you guys get the point. What a fun go second team. How can I make it better, you think? How do you guys feel about the bolster set on Python versus Stone Skin or something a little bit more popular? I think most people are running Stone Skin on Python. That way he can come back in and cleanse with the A2. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I kind of prefer the bolster on at least one champion on a go second team. And on this team, I already had Stone Skin on Ursica and on Duchess, so it didn't make sense to run it on all three. I do want to go against one more nuking team here. We have a blender comp here, but they're really... I'm not too scared of it. Let's just quickly do the blender comp because this should be a fast one. Just want to see how they do. Basically coming all at us with all those AoEs before we get a chance to go. And this is why I love bolster, right? I mean, between the damage mitigation and... Seriously, between the damage mitigation and the bolster, they barely nibbled at us here. So that's why blender teams are effective on offense, not so much on defense. Again, because I think that you can just go with a nice tanky team against a blender comp and you're not going to have anything to worry about. This team is pretty interesting. They have Candyman, they have Ratman, and UDK. Let's go against this squad here. You don't see a ton of Nishak in the arena, higher up at least, but he's not a bad champ. He's one of my favorite champs added. You know, obviously I love Pythion, tremendous champion, but God, he is so good, Nishak. You're going to be seeing him on my Hydra team, dude. And probably another one of my teams, too. I'm probably going to run him in Doom Tower, as a matter of fact, because I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys went for him or not. Let me know if you did. If you're in the same boat as I am, just so freaking impressed by that champion, dude. He's just a beast. He is a beast. And I think people kind of paint him in like as just a Hydra champion, right? Or that's where he's most used. I would say at least in the end game, that's what I hear. But to me, he's so much more than that. Let's go against this team. This will round things off. Astralon hits hard. They have a buff remover in Madam, and they're going to go first, obviously, with Arbiter, and then they have Trunda to nuke us down. So let's see how this team does. Two nukers, Astralon and Trunda. You don't really see that too often. Let's see who we lose here. Here's one big nuke. Barely felt it. Two big nukes, barely felt it. I gotta say, I'm a fan of the team. I'm a fan of the strat here. And that's the power of having two damage mitigators. What I was saying about Nishak, though, guys, is boy, that champion is such a freaking beast. Really everywhere. Check out this Doom Tower. Now, I hear a few floors that you guys complain about being very difficult. This is Doom Tower hard, by the way. 104 is a floor that I hear about a lot, but I don't personally find that one super, super challenging. I think it's actually 108, is it? No. What is it, 109? Where the hell is it? 107? No. 106? No. What is the hard? 114. 114. Yes! The Siffy and Rotos floor with Turvold, okay? Sorry, guys. I'm just like, what the hell floor is it? So I'm running Nishak as our DPS just because I love the champion so much. But you can see how effective he can be even on a team of all tanks around him. So again, damage mitigation, damage mitigation, damage mitigation, damage mitigation on all the passives. Ursica out, she's going to be our arena specialist, and Brogni in is going to be our PvE specialist, even though he shines in the arena as well. So the cool thing about this team is we have block buffs, so we can mitigate Sir Nick and Siffy later on as well with the block buffs. And I mean, these bombs and poisons just do so... I mean, this doesn't even look like a Doom Tower hard dungeon. These champions have so much freaking HP, right? It's insane. And they just melt away to the power of Nishak. Seriously, dude. You get the bombs, poisons. I mean, forget about it. You do not see. I might just run this afterwards.
You are killing us. Don't you get that?
Nah, I want to save your time, but you guys know what I'm talking about, man. I was just going to run like a normal team. These guys, they hit incredibly hard. And they absolutely have just tons of HP and defense. But you guys kind of get the point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the second round just because it's going to be more of the same. Come back to you on the third wave and we'll kind of see how things end out here. But man, again, they're barely touching us here. They're barely touching us. Keep in mind, we do have Guardian gear too on what's his face, Norog, excuse me. So just kind of an idea. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep on the second wave too, because look at all these freaking Rotoses and the hard-hitting Elhanes and Dark Elhanes and Siffy as well. I mean, this is a team, dude. This is the wave that I hear most about. This one right here that people really struggle with, just because, again, I mean, look at it. Look at these champions and look at how hard they hit, right? And then Rotos, you can't even keep any debuffs on them because they're going to be cleansed off by Siffy as well. So, but we have the protected debuffs from good old Vermin Lord. So we go in there with the decreased attack going to help us out as well. I mean, Dude, what? I'm sorry. This is supposed to be about Pythion, about Duchess, about how powerful these mitigators are, and I can't stop gushing about Ratman, dude, because I think he's just an amazing, amazing champion. But look at those poisons, and dude, I mean, Verminlord's our only DPS here on the squad for the most part. A little bit from Brogni as well. But we'll see how things shape out towards the end here. But yeah, guys, again, I don't want to waste too much time on these waves, but this is... The beautiful thing about this is if you don't have all these champions, which I don't imagine most of you do, there's roles here that you can just sub in and out, you know? Run Volgoth in a bolster set or a shield set, you know? You don't have to worry in PvE about someone removing your shield on these waves in particular, at least, right? But, you know, that's going to be a massive damage mitigator right out the gate for you guys. Arguably, he could be just as effective as somebody like Norug on this particular team. But anyway, guys, let me come back at the final wave towards the end here because we don't want to spend 20 minutes on this one Doom Tower floor. But Doom Tower hard floor 100 and whatever it is, 14, making it look really easy with a squad. Be right back. All right, guys, wrapping up here. Nishak went down the very end. We're going to turn off auto climb. Wait. I want to see the stats here, man. What do we have? Nishak 2 million. You guys can see it all. I want to turn the auto climb off. Okay, I wasn't sure if the end screen went away when you turn off auto climb. I forgot about that. But again, you can see the heals, Pythion coming through big, and really Nishak just carrying the brunt of things, given the powerful kit in terms of all those bombs and poisons. Excuse me. All right, guys. So here in Hydra hard, I put this team together. We have Necmo in the lead. We have Duchess on the team for damage mitigation. Pythion on the team for damage mitigation. We have Nishak because I can't get enough of the Ratman. We have Ugo in there for block buffs and for decreased defense. And then we have Geomancer, who, as I mentioned before, actually has damage mitigation on his passive Stone Guard as well. We think about the damage on this ability, but in reality, it has good mitigation as well. Decrease the damage all allies receive by 15% and deflects that damage onto each enemy under an HP burn debuff placed by this champion. I am running him in reflex gear, and I have his A2 shut off. Hopefully, we can rely on the block buffs from Ugo to mitigate most of the buffs that are going to be on the Hydra heads once we kind of get things going here. I will mention that also in consideration was Bivald of the Thorn for a team like this as a provoker, which I'm lacking right now, and he also has damage mitigation 10% to all allies for each enemy or from every enemy, excuse me, under provoke. So I thought about adding him to the team. Well, let's just see how this squad goes. Let's see how long we can last with this team as well. My only concern with a team like this is actually not longevity, but can we do enough damage to prevent our champions from being devoured and consumed? So stay tuned. I mean, obviously, even without, and I purposely left out champions like Mithrala from a team like this because I want to just go straight up damage mitigation off of passives here. I don't want to stack, again, a bunch of increased defense and ally protects and strengthens to the mix, even though that would be kind of the coup de grace. That would be the utmost example of this just OP defensive team mitigating all damage coming in. But I wanted to see how this team can do just off the passives, and you're already seeing there that Nishak is in very, very perilous situation. However, Ugo comes in with a monster heal to keep him alive. The good news is we do have 2 revivers again on the team, so if somebody falls down, we can pick them right back up. Be right back. Let's see how this team does. All right, guys, so here we are checking in at boss turn 147. So we're lasting a while here, and everything is honestly looking really, really good. Again, thanks to all this mitigation from these passives. That's about it. Some heals too, right? And all the damage from Geo and from Nishak. So I will be back, and we'll see how long we can go here. How many turns do you think we can last? All right, guys, here we go. A staggering 263 turns on the boss count in, and everybody's getting absolutely eaten right now. We're at around 75 million damage, almost. Can we get it before everybody gets eaten? We will see. It's not looking like it, though. It's not looking like it, but I think 1,102 turns might be, total turn count, that is, might be my personal record. So I think we're going to go ahead and keep this score. And suffice it to say, over 75 million damage with all those brimstone procs. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here, guys. I'm a big fan of damage mitigation strategies, guys. We have Necmothar with 12 million on the damage. Ugo with 6 million. Python with 1 million. Nishak with an amazing 34 million damage. Geo 19 and Duchess with 1 million as well. Look at the 3 million in heals from Pythion. Very, very impressive there as well, guys. That's going to do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.